The name Wagoneer is a single word that carries a lifetime of American stories. The long family cross-country drives, the silent pride of a wood-paneled driveway icon, the utilitarian grit of wartime service, and, in the modern age, an ambitious attempt to marry that heritage with the technology of tomorrow. To understand the Wagoneer is to read the history of the SUV itself and to see how a simple idea, a comfortable, capable vehicle that could go off-road and still feel like home, reshaped how Americans move, work, and travel. It all began in the early 1960s. Jeep, then under Willys, and shortly thereafter Kaiser and AMC, took a fundamental step away from the purely work-oriented four-wheelers of the post-war era. The original Jeep Wagoneer, introduced for the 1963 model year, was conceived as something different, a full-size, body-on-frame vehicle with the comfort and appointments of a station wagon, yet with real four-wheel drive capability underneath. It was, in essence, the first vehicle to wear both a suit and hiking boots. Unlike the Spartan utility 4x4s of its time, the Wagoneer offered refinements, more car-like interiors, automatic transmissions, and a focus on highway comfort, and by doing so, it invented the idea of the luxury-capable SUV long before the term SUV existed. Through the 1960s and into the 1970s and 1980s, that original SJ platform Wagoneer evolved. It moved from six-cylinder, workhorse power plants toward the bigger V8s that buyers increasingly demanded. Design updates arrived slowly but deliberately. By the 1980s, the Grand Wagoneer, a nameplate introduced in that decade, had established itself as an American symbol of taste and ruggedness. The Grand's simulated wood-grain side panels, plush leather interiors, and V8 propulsion made it a status vehicle in many affluent enclaves. From coastal towns to country clubs, collectors and historians today often point to the 1984-1991 Grand Wagoneer as the archetypal luxury SUV of its era. Its combination of opulent trim and truck-derived toughness made it as at home on estate driveways as it was on backcountry trails. But the long run of the original Wagoneer family finally came to an end in the early 1990s. Tighter crash safety regulations, rising fuel economy pressures, and the company's shifting priorities meant the old full-size Wagoneer platform wasn't sustainable. Production wound down, and the timeless wood-trimmed Grand Wagoneer slipped quietly into the ranks of classic Americana, beloved by aficionados, restored by specialists, and slowly rising in collectability. Many of the last SJ Grand Wagoneers are today preserved as cultural artifacts of an era that loved big, comfortable, uncomplicated vehicles. A Wagoneer name lay dormant for decades, until the 2010s when Stellantis and its predecessors in the Chrysler family began to consider revivals and rebadges that would tap into the brand's powerful nostalgia. In 2020 and 2021, Jeep unveiled concept and production versions that were meant to resurrect the Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer as modern full-size SUVs, luxurious, technologically ambitious, and competing at the high end of the American market. The new Wagoneer family was not a retro reissue so much as a reinterpretation, a modern, three-row flagship designed to take on premium rivals by blending real capability with high levels of interior technology and finish. When Jeep officially revealed the modern Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer in 2021, it did so with clear intent. These vehicles were larger, more luxurious, and technologically dense than anything Jeep had offered in decades. The Grand Wagoneer, positioned at the top of the range, featured high-quality materials, advanced infotainment and comfort systems, and powerful engine options intended to satisfy buyers who expected opulence as much as capability. The Wagoneer aimed to be a slightly more value-focused sibling, still luxurious, still American-sized, but with a broader set of powertrain choices and trim levels to reach a wider audience. Jeep's catalog page, spec sheets, and early reviews emphasized passenger volume, towing capacity, and comfort, all of which were central selling points for large SUV buyers. From a technical standpoint, the 2020s Wagoneer family represented a clear evolution. Under the skin, these trucks are body-on-frame or frame-based designs that balance towing and durability with on-road refinement. Powertrains ranged across V6 turbocharged units to large, naturally aspirated V8s in Grand Wagoneer trims. High-end Grand Wagoneer variants were offered with substantial V8 output and air suspension systems intended to deliver both comfort and serious towing numbers. The interiors featured multiple screens, high-end audio systems, and the Uconnect software suite, signaling Jeep's determination to compete with established luxury brands on the technology front, while preserving Jeep's distinct design language and off-road DNA. The Wagoneer revival was not only about hardware, it was a marketing and cultural play. Jeep wanted to reclaim its heritage and to offer an American luxury alternative to German and domestic rivals. Early pricing and configuration choices reflected that ambition. Higher trims, bespoke leather treatments, and concierge-style services aimed to win buyers who might otherwise choose European luxury SUVs. For many customers, a modern Grand Wagoneer offered the emotional connection of the historic model. That same sense of established American taste, but in a package that matched contemporary expectations for connectivity and performance. The public reaction was mixed and instructive. Enthusiasts appreciated the revival's audacity and the attention to comfort that Jeep restored to the nameplate. Critics often pointed to the Wagoneer's size, its complexity, the high asking price of top trims, and some early quality concerns. Indeed, Stellantis has faced a number of recalls and supply chain challenges in recent years that affected the Wagoneer and related models. In 2025, Stellantis announced a recall covering certain 2022 to 2024 Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer models for detachable trim pieces on side windows, a safety fix that underscored the difficulty of scaling a luxury electronics-packed vehicle. More broadly, the brand has had to navigate shifting demand, with search interest and pricing promotions influencing buyer interest across model years. Production itself has been subject to industrial realities, as Stellantis and other automakers retool U.S. plants to support multi-energy strategies, both internal combustion and electric vehicle manufacturing. Investments in Michigan facilities and other plants has been announced to prepare for the EV transition. Yet, supply chain shocks also have had tangible effects. In 2025, a major aluminum mill fire led to shortages that temporarily idled production at the Warren Truck Assembly Plant, a facility key to Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer assembly, highlighting how global materials incidents can ripple down to the production of flagship models. These episodes illustrate the fragility and interdependence of modern automotive manufacturing. Beyond plant and parts, the Wagoneer family has been reshaped by customer expectations. Buyers in the full-size luxury SUV segment demand both advanced infotainment and driver assists, as well as traditional metrics like towing capacity and payload. Jeep has answered with a wide menu of driver assistance systems, air suspension for adjustable ride height, multi-zone climate systems, and premium audio and rear seat entertainment options. The Grand Wagoneer, in particular, emphasizes passenger comfort, expansive seating volume, high cargo capacity, and creature comforts aimed at long drives or chauffeured travel. For shoppers, the Wagoneer is pitched as both a family hauler and a statement of taste. How does the Wagoneer square against competitors? In many ways, it occupies a uniquely American niche. European rivals often emphasize chassis finesse and driving dynamics, Asian rivals may prioritize reliability and value. Wagoneer puts its chips on size, presence, and an interior experience calibrated for comfort in long-distance travel. When buyers prefer a vehicle that looks the part in a luxury setting but can also tow a boat or traverse a back road, the Wagoneer's combination of old-school capability and new-school tech becomes compelling. Still, that positioning brings trade-offs. Fuel consumption, footprint, and sticker shock are real objections for eco-minded or urban customers. From a collector and cultural perspective, the Wagoneer's story is cyclical. The 1980s Grand Wagoneer now fetches strong attention at classic car shows and auctions, a sign that automotive nostalgia is powerful and that the original DNA still matters. The modern Grand Wagoneer attempts to channel that aura, but in a contemporary idiom. Whether the modern Wagoneer will enjoy the same collectible cachet decades from now depends on a complex mixture of build quality, design endurance, and cultural resonance. But the name, at least, carries a powerful tailwind. Looking forward, the Wagoneer name will have to adapt to the industry's twin imperatives: electrification and software. Stellantis has signaled investments in EV platforms and multi-energy manufacturing, and the Wagoneer badge will likely be part of that future strategy, either as electrified Wagoneer models, plug-in hybrids, or perhaps even a fully battery-electric or range-extended flagship in the years to come. The brand's task will be to reconcile the Wagoneer's heritage of size and long-distance comfort with the efficiencies and packaging realities of electrified powertrains. How Jeep balances weight, battery packaging, towing capability, and the auditory allure of a combustion V8 will shape the Wagoneer's next chapter. Finally, the Wagoneer story is also a mirror of American automotive culture. It reflects changing tastes, the post-war embrace of large personal vehicles, the 1980s class signaling via wood trim panels, the contemporary appetite for tech-heavy luxury, and the modern push toward decarbonization and connectivity. The modern Wagoneer is a bridge between eras, a vehicle that asks us to accept that heritage and innovation can be siblings rather than rivals. For filmmakers and storytellers, the Wagoneer offers a compelling arc, a humble origin, an era of cultural ascendancy, a nostalgic retirement, and a bold contemporary reinvention. If the original Wagoneer introduced families to the notion of adventure with comfort, the revived Wagoneer is trying to reintroduce that notion, now with augmented screens, air suspensions, and concierge services, to a new generation that expects both capability and consciousness.